You know, 10 years ago I just didn't even consider buying a luxury bag, but I always liked that bag because it kind of looks like a silly face. Yeah, it was just the Chanel boy bag was like the coolest bag. Like, you wouldn't go for the classic flap, you would go for the boy bag. That like shabby chic look, like the boho look that Rachel Zoe kind of made cool, and like, you know, Lindsay Lohan and Nicole Richie, they all had that kind of like messed up look. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. If you love shopping and handbag videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. I used to be so obsessed with so many random bags 10 years ago. I was definitely always into fashion, you know, back in, you know, 2010, 2012, 2013. I feel like trends were very different. I think, like, you know, the fact that we didn't have as much focus on Instagram and Facebook meant that a lot of our influence came from celebrities and magazines. I know I was definitely watching a lot of runway shows back then as well, as I still do now, and a lot of the bags that were on trend were kind of influenced, yeah, as I said, from celebrities. I remember back in like the 2010s, Rachel Zoe was a really famous celebrity stylist, and I feel like she definitely created some trends herself, you know, with that boho chic look. And looking at some of the bags she carried, like those big Chanel bags, those vintage Chanels, those big Birkins, a lot of those fringe bags. Back then, I was really looking, I noticed a lot of celebrities wore massive Birkin bags, which is so different to what you see today, where you see usually on Instagram people sporting their mini Kellys and like their Birkin 25s. And although people are saying big bags are back in fashion, it was really more so a thing 10 years ago. It's a bit like not as normal as it did on celebrities 10 years ago. And I just love looking on Google at, you know, pictures of celebrities 10 years ago wearing their big Birkins. I love how they dressed them up, and, you know, the different exotics that they used to have. And even like I noticed that a lot of them had this kind of like fancy bag charm hanging off their bags. About 10 years ago as well, it was more normalized to have like a lot of bag charms on your bags, like the Fendi fur pom-poms and the, you know, Fendi monsters. And I remember I was really into decorating my bags 10 years ago as well. And I never had designer bags 10 years ago, but I used to get my bags and put on lots of pom-poms and like Hello Kitty toys and plushies. And that might have been because I was really into like Japanese fashion, and I used to look at like online like lookbook and what people would wear in Harajuku, and, you know, they always had like their bags decked out in bag charms. So I was always into that look, and I still definitely put bag charms on my bags, but definitely 10 years ago I feel like it was more of a thing. As I said, I really loved the look of the big Birkins back then, but another bag that was really popular, which I feel like a lot of people forgot about, it wasn't as expensive as a lot of these other designer bags we saw celebrities wearing, but it was the Alexander Wang Rocky bag, or Rocco bag. One of my friends had this bag. I think her dad bought it for her, and I remember she had it. I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a fancy designer bag. And I remember this bag, and she had the smaller version, so it wasn't as heavy. It's a duffel bag with these studs on the bottom, and that's how you knew it was Alexander Wang. That was like the signature of this bag. It had the big studs, and it was definitely very fitting at the time because it really went with like the 2012 aesthetic. You know, I was really into my Jeffrey Campbell Lita shoes. I had a lot. I loved my Galaxy leggings and, you know, my long tops. So I feel like the whole Litas with like the studded bag and like the studded shoes, or, you know, we had these like studded loafers we were all wearing. It kind of went with that aesthetic. Alexander Wang bag, it was popular. I think it came out in around 2008, but it was popular for a number of years, and then it kind of slowly became out of fashion. And, you know, I hardly see anyone talking about that bag anymore, but I distinctly remember that being a massive trend. Similarly, around the same time, I remember seeing a lot of people on the internet wearing the mini motorcycle bag from Balenciaga, or I remember seeing a lot of celebrities wearing the bigger motorcycle bags, and I feel like that style also ties in with that like shabby chic look, like the boho look that Rachel Zoe kind of made cool, and like, you know, Lindsay Lohan and Nicole Richie, they all had that kind of like messed up look with all like the tassels and everything. You know, Mary-Kate and Ashley kind of had that style back then too, that bohemian look. And I remember seeing them wearing the Balenciaga city bag as well. But, you know, in recent times, Balenciaga, they've kind of redesigned the city bag. They have the Neo City. But after that whole scandal, as I said in my previous video, I would not really want to put my money towards Balenciaga anymore personally, but I do appreciate that era they had, you know, in the 2010s, where the Balenciaga city bag was very popular among celebrities, and it was a bag that I admittedly really wanted as well. Another bag that I used to really want like 10 years ago is the Moschino biker jacket bag. I was like super obsessed with biker jackets. There's actually this Moschino biker jacket on Outnet at the moment that I would have died for. It's on sale, but like this like multicolor biker jacket, I'm just obsessed with it. And the biker jacket bag, oh my gosh, that is such a cute bag. You know, as I said, I don't know if the fitted biker jacket is as popular as it used to be. Some people would say the fitted biker jacket is a classic. I actually have a few biker jackets in my collection. It was not 10 years ago. Maybe I got this in around 2016, the Acne Studios biker jacket, and I also got a Saint Laurent fitted biker jacket. I hardly wear these anymore, but I've been obsessed with biker jackets for years, and I think it's because, again, I was into that like galaxy leggings with leaders look for a while, but you know, the biker jacket look, definitely it's still relevant, but Moschino in particular did some really funky biker jackets, and I was so obsessed. So I really wanted the biker jacket bag, and I know Jacob from Super Jacob did an unboxing of the Barbie 2015 biker jacket bag. Honestly, guys, go watch that video. It is so... He was ahead of that time with this video, because honestly, you know, with the Barbie movie coming out and everything, I think this bag would be perfect if you were going to watch the Barbie movie premiere. Or yeah, I mean, this bag is so cute. Honestly, Jacob, I think, should wear it right now because it is so fitting of the time. But yeah, the Moschino biker jacket bag, I feel like it's super iconic, and it's something I used to really want, but I kind of forgot about it. So yeah, I'm not actually sure when Moschino came out with this biker jacket bag, but Jacob's video was filmed in 2015, so I'm going to assume the original version of it came out before that. I might have to do a little bit of research, but that was definitely a bag I was obsessed with. I was also really obsessed with, for a while, the Chanel boy bag. Now, the Chanel boy bag came out in 2011, and it was pretty popular from like 2012. I mean, it's still popular, but I feel like it was at its peak in the 2010s. So 2012, you know, if you look at the first editions of it, it just said Chanel on the top, and it definitely looked like a little book. But now they kind of adapted the design, have more quilting, and you've seen a lot of like new variations of it as well, like, you know, the more square-shaped boy bag, the wallet on chain, like more curved boy bags. And the boy bag is a part of the classics collection for Chanel, but I feel like its peak popularity has kind of come and gone. There was a time where, yeah, it was just the Chanel boy bag was like the coolest bag. Like, you wouldn't go for the classic flap, you would go for the boy bag. And again, I think because it kind of tied into that like cool girl look, you know, with the biker jacket, a bit more like a tomboy look, and not as like almost like not as pretentious or like ladylike as the classic flap. So yeah, that whole like grungy look, you know, the Balenciaga City, the boy bag, the Alexander Wang bag, they kind of all tied into that style. So I think that's why I really liked those bags back then. And again, like the Moschino bag, they kind of all the same style. That's probably why I was obsessed with them 10 years ago. Yeah, but I don't know. The only one that I'm still kind of obsessed with is probably the big Birkin, but I don't know if I would wear a big Birkin only due to the weight. Like, you know, you'd have to really lug those things around. And unless you're going for like a lightweight leather, I don't know if I'd invest in a big Birkin unless it was like a really good price. Then I would just get it for, you know, to keep as a little investment. Because honestly, if you can get a Birkin for a really good price now, I still think it's worth buying. So you can just keep it, and like it'll probably go up in value later. Like, I'm talking if you find a Birkin for like $5,000 or something, then get it. Honestly, whatever size it is, I think they will always be relevant. But yeah, it's more the trend to get the Birkin 25. But yeah, the last bag that I used to be really obsessed with, I'm just blabbing on now, is probably the Celine tricolor mini luggage. And that was also a very 2010s bag. And, you know, the Celine luggage, it's been really popular for a while. I'm sure it's still kind of, there's still lots of people who wear it and love it, because it was just so popular for many years. And it was a key kind of bag that came out when Phoebe Philo was the creative director of Celine. It has that really like low-key minimal look. Yeah, kind of very different to like, you know, pre 2008 where it was more like blingy, flashy fashion. It was more of that like cool girl look, but I particularly liked the mini one with the tricolors. It was a bit more funky, a bit more my style, a bit more edgy. I wasn't as into like those big plain colored ones. I feel like they were more, yeah, like serious looking. I was more into like the funky ones. So I remember I really wanted a mini Celine luggage bag and I wanted to put the big Fendi pom-pom on it. That was like goals, right? I never thought I would get it because, you know, 10 years ago I just didn't even consider buying a luxury bag, but I always liked that bag because it kind of looks like a silly face. But, you know, looking back, it was really popular, but in these days, Celine still have it on their website, but it's rumored that they're going to discontinue it because now that Eddie Slimane is the new creative director, well, he has been since like 2017, 2018 now. It's kind of a bag that he didn't design. So a lot of Eddie's like new designs are doing really well and they're kind of taking over Phoebe's old design. So it's said that they're going to phase out that bag as well at Celine and discontinue it, as they are the classic box bag as well. So yeah, they're bags that seemed classic at the time, but now looking back 10 years, they were very popular and then they kind of fizzled out. So yeah, it's hard to like create like bags that are truly classic. And although these bags were so popular at one point, you sometimes think that they will carry on and become classics, but not always. Sometimes they kind of get lost and forgotten as time goes by. But the only classic one out of these bags is probably the Birkin, just because, you know, the size, it's not as desirable anymore, but it's something that could come back around. But I wonder if any of the bags today that I've talked about will come back around, like, you know, the little mosquito bag or whatever. I don't really think so, but anyways, thanks for listening to my Barbie video today. Were there bags that you wanted 10 years ago that you feel like you don't want anymore? Anyways, let me know and I'll talk to you guys on my next one. Bye!